I wanted to start off by saying I did vote for Donald Trump. We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. So the reason that they're not able to hold up the contract is our EQIP program, which is cost sharing on fences, waters, a well, and some seedings, was funded by the Inflation Reduction Act. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding through the Inflation Reduction Act, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward. I'm not the only one this is affecting. So there are other farmers in the comments saying that they're in the same boat that I'm in because they signed these contracts, and the contracts, even like, so whenever I looked into the contract, I made sure that that funding was set aside. It wasn't funding that, oh, we hope it's there whenever it's done. I made sure that that funding was set aside so that way before I made these business decisions, I knew that funding was there per contract. So they're backing out on the contract because they don't have the funding. They can't release the funds.
So essentially, what you have here, this gentleman voted for Trump. He's a farmer, and essentially, they get grants or kickbacks for money that they put up for certain materials they need for farming. Long story short, Trump initiated some executive orders which put a freeze on these funds, and now his farm is at risk for going under because all his capital is tied up, and he was expecting the government to give him a portion of it back. And now, obviously, he has no working capital and is putting his farm at risk. This is just like a story I did maybe a week or two ago where we had a gentleman who owned his own construction company. He voted for Trump as well. And now we know about these ice raids that are going around across the country. And now he no longer has any workers. These farmers are finding themselves in a similar situation. Not only are these funds frozen up by executive orders put into place, they are also having trouble with their workers. A lot of them who are illegal are not showing up to work, and they can't get the essential things that they need to on the farm completed.
It's Joe from Georgia. So this is news out of Texas. But folks, these are alarm bells ringing for the entire United States, and our government is not listening. Uh, Overnight, multiple farms in the state of Texas completely shut down. And the reason for this shutdown was because they have lost almost 100% of their workforce. Now, we know this is the result of the immigration raids and stricter enforcement, but the ripple effect is going to be felt all the way across this country. Now, you've got crops that are rotting in the fields. You have livestock that is not being attended to at all. And that takes a lot of personnel. And we're talking, so now we're getting every area of food to include meat. And the communities that surround these farms, those businesses and those people who depend on the income from these farms, it's creating disasters for small communities in Texas. Now, this is not stopping at Texas farms. This is going to end up all the way across America, especially in the breadbasket, the middle of the nation, because they have tons of immigrant help. But folks, the alarm bells are ringing. Your food on your plate is being affected. So you got to think about it. It won't be soon until either prices go ridiculously high or you just won't have any food to buy.
Twofold on this. Now, one, a lot of these gentlemen who voted for Trump, these farmers, these construction owners, I don't think that they really believe Trump when he said that he was very serious about attacking this immigration issue. I think they thought it was just going to be criminals, gang members. But as we can see now, he's coming for all illegals and is really hurting their bottom line. Now, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, we're all going to be affected by this. Again, if no one is attending to the livestock, if no one is able to harvest these crops, eventually that's going to put a strain on the supply chain, and it's going to cause prices to rise. So, I mean, again, this is really not good for anybody in this situation because ultimately, the consumer, the person who gets the end product, is going to be affected by higher prices. The farmers are struggling to keep the farms open. Obviously, you have, the illegals. They're running and hiding because they're scared about getting deported. So this is all around going to have a negative effect on literally everybody.
News out of Texas, and if this is happening in Texas, this is happening elsewhere. I'll put the link to the article in the description. Multiple farms are shutting down due to lack of workers because the entire workforce has basically fled and is in hiding and not showing up for work. Crops are being left to die in the Texas heat. Livestock is being untended to, unwatered, and unfed. There's just no one to do the work. So this is going to lead to potential food shortages because I'm sure this is happening across the country. Most farm workers are questionably documented. No one else is willing to do the work. This is going to lead to shortages, and inflation is going to go back up as we're going to have to import food from outside.
Again, as you can see, we have multiple sources reporting the same thing. And one thing that he touched on, which is very important, this is just not a Texas issue. These are farms across America. So again, this lack of labor, I mean, with the illegals on the run, essentially, is going to have an effect on literally every single person. We already know food is already astronomically high. People are complaining. So this is just going to make matters tremendously worse.
Today on the farm, we have finished our final harvest for the 2024 season, and they're just over here just eating some chow. And hey, chavos! Hey! Yo quieres dice mucho gracias por trabajo duro. El único día fácil fue ayer.
Is this man reading off a script? My thing is this with these guys, or some of these gentlemen. They're farmers, the contractors. They voted for Trump, and now the things are not going in their best interest, and ultimately it's affecting their bottom line. Now they have so much concern and care for the illegals. They want them, they're saying they're not all bad, they're not all criminals. We need them. But where was this beforehand? Where was this support years ago? They didn't give a damn about the illegals. Now that it's ultimately affecting their families and it's affecting their bottom line, now they want to champion the illegals. Now they want to, talk Spanish to them, and hey, we got to do something about this. This is a national emergency. When honestly, Trump was very clear. Like you can't say he was trying to be deceptive or deceitful or try to do some type of sleight of hand. He told you that this was going to be this immigration issue. He was going to attack it head on, and that's exactly what he did. And a lot of these guys just didn't believe it, or they just chose to zone out. And now that again, it's affecting their bottom lines. They're coming online and whining and complaining, and now so much change has to be done, and they have all the answers. But just years ago, they didn't care. But let me know what you think in the comments below about this farmer shortage. These are obviously the illegals are on the run. Also, these farmers are having trouble getting their grants essentially to pay for seeding and fencing, and it's tying up a lot of their working capital, which is causing them not to be able to operate their farms on a day-to-day basis. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.